Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.
Welcome to part 3. We're just waiting for Terry from the lodge to log on. How's it going, Tel? All right, lad. Oh. Dead leg here on my leg. You there, mate? Terry, Earth calling Terry. You know what, earlier? I fell down with these keys in my pocket. All right. Slipped, fell down. Landed up here. I've got a bruise on me. Is Terry there? I can see your thing, Terry, but where are you? Where are you, Terry?
Can you hear me now?
No, mate, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Have you just started hearing me, yeah?
All right, mate, yeah.
Oh, okay then. Right. Can Teddy Atlas come to UK and start training some fighters, or does he just talk a good game? What do you think, Terry? Because he seems pretty animated when he's getting his point across. Do you think he'd be like a sergeant major type trainer?
I think sometimes boxing moves past you. I think boxing's kind of moved past Teddy Atlas now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in the same way that, like, you wouldn't want Alan Kirbishley in the Premier League now. That you just kind of feel football's gone past him.
Mark Hughes, Stuart Pearce, Southgate, all them sort of people.
Yeah, football's just gone past them.
Harry Redknapp, Big Sam Allardyce, they're all hovering around like bad smells, aren't they?
Yeah, you know, one last payday.
Well, they keep saying Billy Joe needs another payday. All right, well, I've had a few comments today from the Dave Allen Army. Well, there's actually 4 comments. You usually get about 35 or 40. I used to show them you. I got 4 today, and each one of them were vile. So I very much doubt David would be behind that, because he's got a bit of class. But so I'm going to start off again and explain what I said in my video. David is from the same area as me, DN12. He's had more than enough chances, 29 fights. Now, he left Dennis undefeated after 7 fights because he wouldn't go to the gym. Dennis was, so why should I pay him a salary to go to gym? He's a young lad, 19. All he's got to do, he's good at gym. Go to the gym, put a shift in and go on. It's all paid for. You don't have to go down pit like Porky's old man or work on a building site like Kevin's dad. You don't have to do that. You're there to go to gym. It's like being in prison and getting a big long gym session all day and have a bit of food in between and a chat and banter and that. It's all paid for. You're being paid to go to gym and you get X amount when you fight, guaranteed. Never sold a ticket, never sold more than 7 tickets in 7 fights. So he went, fair enough, we wished him well, but Dennis said to me, he'll be back, you watch. And he came back. We all know what's happened in between. My argument is this. He had the opportunities and he didn't put the effort in, and it was straight. I could shake him like a leaf, but he's too big. He's still young enough to turn it around, isn't he? I've been talking to some boxing people today, next door, and you know, it is his partner from, you know, who's got I'm show GMB in it. They've got a show on next month. We're talking to his partner next door and that. They rate Dave. They rate Dave Allen. But I said, do you rate him? I says, if he puts the effort in, yeah, but you don't know what they're doing when they're going home, do you? Where do you see it ending for Dave now, this? You see him walking away? Because he said in his tweet, or whatever Insta somebody sent me, that if you don't get under 20 stone in next 3 weeks or something, and the month is jacking in. But how many retirements have we had of him now? I mean, I don't know what's going on with him.
That's tricky.
You know, if I were him, let me just say this before you have yours. If I were him, do you know what I'd do? I'd say, you know what? I'm going to get myself fitters out and I'm going to knock them 2 fights off on my contract that I owe Dennis. I'm going to be a free agent. I'm going to put myself in the shop window with them 2 fights for Dennis. I might hardly get any money for them 2 fights, but he'll get Dennis off his case, right? Because if he goes anywhere, Dennis is going to want compensation off of promoters who he's going to be dealing with, isn't he? So let's get them 2 fights out of the way. Put his Senate shop window, flatten 2 journeyman, be a free agent, and then just keep looking the business. Just keep looking great, doing the gyms, doing the sparring, and it'll come. So what's his fucking problem? 31-year-old, 32 in March, is he? If I were that age and I had the opportunities he had, you'd grab it with both hands, wouldn't you? Look what I do with this. And this is nowhere near what I used to do when I was in motor trade. But it's exciting, isn't it? And I like it, and I'm my own boss. So unless he wants to be a dolly all his life or whatever, working in some factory like this, because you're not going to see him doing tarmacking, are you? He's not going to want to do that and get up in the morning on hard road, is he? And he's training bits of kids, so he's not making any money out of boxing. And he's been abused in boxing, hasn't he, by people like him. Do you think that, Terry? Don't know what you think. Where's it going to end for Dave?
So, whenever a promoter or manager rings me up and asks me about a fighter, first thing I talk about is their work ethic. If I don't see someone with a good work ethic, I'll tell them, don't sign him.
Yeah.
Because you can be as talented as you want. It's about work ethic. Like, I've been on here so many times, Russ, and what have I said to you? Guys like Spider Richards never miss sessions. Yeah. Never miss sessions. Like, you rarely see him out on the town. Sometimes you might bump into him somewhere, but...
Like Quigg, aren't they? Like Quiggy.
Exactly. And he's got the added benefit of being quite strong physically, so he doesn't get injured very often.
Yeah.
I always look at those things in boxers, like all the talent stuff. Too many boxing fans are seduced by the flashy stuff. But how many world title fights have you watched?
On pads.
Yeah. But even in the amateurs, you see guys taking the piss. But at world level, you don't get those opportunities, right? At world level, it's about your work rate, it's about your durability, and it's about your fundamentals, your 1-2 and your hook. That's it, right? All the other stuff is icing on the cake. But if you don't have the work ethic, if you don't have that physical strength to withstand being a pro boxer, and if you don't have your fundamentals, you're going nowhere. Now, Dave's got good fundamentals. Dave can box. Right? Dave Allen can box. Dave Allen understands boxing. He's a smart kid when it comes to boxing.
Yeah.
He's also, I don't really think he's injury prone. He's quite solid, like quite unbreakable. But there's no work ethic there. Like,
there's no go in him, is there?
There's
no go in him, is there?
But I'm like, Dave, you've been a pro boxer for a decade now, or whatever it is.
More, 12 years.
No one should be telling you that you got to stay on top of your weight. No one should be telling you to do your runs. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what, as long as you call yourself a boxer, your job is to make weight. Like, fighting is the bonus for making weight.
You know, Frog, right? He said to me that McCracken never went on 1 6-mile run with him. He used to take his mate Adam Folks. They never went on one. He says, never even followed him in a car or it's your job in it, that. Can't you run in one direction 3 mile and one direction back home 3 mile? It's your job. Do you know what I mean? Measure it with your car. You go in your car, so it's 3 mile from here to the right. I'm going to run from there to there and there to there in a certain time. And every day I'm going to do that for 70 days. It ain't rocket science, is it? I've never seen Dave Allen out running. Once I seen him walking over at viaducts, and I thought, oh, he's up. I've never seen him again. I never seen Liam do it. Tommy Frank got up every morning. Tommy Frank used to get up and do his runs. And Dennis used to find out Tommy's done his runs, been seen. Some kids can put it in and ain't got it. Some kids have it, but don't want to put the effort in. Be like James Toney, innit? But I don't want to put James Toney in the same bracket as Dave. But you see where I'm coming from, don't you? You can't just go through life making out your tough. You know why Peter Fury got rid of Dave Allen? Because he says he didn't want an effing tough guy in gym. Move your effing head. Because they don't want to put the name to somebody who's not going to move their head, do they? If you're going to keep taking punches to face, how's that make your trainer look? Do you see where I'm coming from? I don't know. Frustrating.
Right. I think, look, I'm one of these people. If you didn't show me in the beginning, you're not going to show me now.
14-year Dave Allen's been a pro this in 1208. 1208. Oh, 8th at 12. Oh, 13-year. He's into his 14th year as a pro.
Yeah, so I can't take... If you don't show something early in your career, you're not going to discover it at the end of your career. Exactly. And even if you do, your body just ain't going to come with you.
David will know that, but I'm just trying to think, is there a style they could fight in or a way that he can get through, get that timber off and just develop some sort of style and stay with a trainer and just develop some sort of style? He said he were going to have 6 fights, didn't he, against nobodies and get into a routine of getting fit. Well, we'll tell you how we're talking now. These 6 fights, right? Hang on. Have a look. He's been with Dennis. He's had 5 with Dennis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. He's had 4 fights with Dennis, right? And he started with Dennis in August. He's been with Dennis nearly 3 years, mate. And he's had 5 fights. No, 4 fights with Dennis in nearly 3 years. Right, 4 fights. It's not active enough. So if he were going to knock them 6 off, like he said, in 2 years, well, he is now 9 months behind schedule and 2 fights behind schedule. So it's a problem, isn't it? It's him, isn't it?
And here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that people don't talk about. There are that many heavyweights floating around this country right now that you don't even need, Dave.
Yeah, this is why he's having to go on podcast run again, isn't it? And it must be embarrassing because not so long ago they were hanging out the back of him, weren't they? Do you remember?
The White Rhino phase, yeah, I remember.
Where's Rob Tebbett now with Boxing News? Where's Rob now? Pushing Dave out there. Where are they? Where's Coogan? Pushing him out. Where? They're nowhere there. They're nowhere, are they, Dave? I told you about them, didn't I? Fair weather fuckers. No, friends, I mean. FFF, FWF, fair weather friends. Anyway, let's move on to something a little bit more interesting. Sam Jones piping up with yet another sermon. I mentioned it earlier, but I forgot to mention. Sam, remember to gargle with TCP. Dan Azeez, Joshua Buatsi. Are you excited? I know I am.
No, not really.
There's not much hype around it, is there, Tal?
So here's the thing, and I've been saying this from the start. Boxing generally has like a story arc, right? Like a soap opera. So if you look at Dan Azeez, Dan had gone area, English, British. I think he got the Commonwealth as well. If he didn't, sorry for getting that wrong. And the European. We wanted to see Dan fight at world level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I'm like, let Dan jump in with Beterbiev. Let him jump in with Bivol. Let him get a shot like that. Why not? He's earned it. Yeah. So they pull Josh Buatsi off the settee and they go, right, we're just going to build a fight between him and Dan. Yep. But that's not a big fight to me. And the reason it's not a big fight is Josh isn't a big attraction. Like, they're trying to condition us to believe that Joshua Buatsi is somehow this world-level guy, having not really ever fought at world level. But we're supposed to believe that he is. And then, you know, Dan's got his chance as the final eliminator. They should have put Dan in with someone like a Pascal or a Joe Smith. That's what Dan has earned, in my opinion. And they didn't do that. I'm not, and I love Dan like a brother, man. I do. I've known Dan over 10 years now. Dan is someone I have so much respect for. This wasn't the fight he needed. He needed a guy like a Joe Smith or Zurdo Ramirez. You know, guys that when he beats them, boxing fans sit up and go, we can get behind him now. This wasn't the fight for that. So if I'm around, I'll watch it. To be honest, if I'm not, cool, I won't. But that's how I feel, because I feel Dan deserves better treatment. And I've let people know at Sky that this wasn't the fight for Dan. Dan should have got a Jean Pascal. He should have got a name on his record that, you know, is fitting of the journey he's been on.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have. He should have. Smith B2B this month. Not long now, is it?
Yeah, what's that? Like 9 days?
Yeah. What do you think? Next week, innit? Fight week, Monday.
Look, I always go with pedigree, Russ. Whenever someone says to me, person X versus person Y, I always look at pedigree. What's your pedigree? That's going to become a meme at some point, isn't it?
The other
What's
guy
your
that's done the business, and he's the only guy in boxing that's knocked everybody out. When he world champion after an handful of fights or something?
Yeah. So Callum Smith, what's he now? 34, 33, 34?
Yeah.
Fought. What's he fought? Like in the last, he's fought 10 times in the last 6 years, Russ. Right?
Oh, yeah, go on.
And he doesn't have any top level wins. People say, yeah, but he beat George Groves. George showed up for the payday. George only had one arm. You can watch the fight. He had one arm.
He did, yeah.
And
That's the best win.
And then he showed up like Rocky Fielding did for the Canelo Stag Do. Had a laugh out there. I mean, Canelo beat him so bad, Callum Smith's arm turned into Arnold Schwarzenegger's arm. Do you know what I mean? So I look at that and I go, Callum Smith hasn't got the pedigree of being in there tough and having to dog it out with someone like Beterbiev, because Beterbiev will dog it out. There's no question about that. And so I don't want to hear people say, well, he dared to be great. He's never dared to be great. Smith has never dared to be great in his whole career. You know, if you apply the Porky test, you go, what's his biggest win? George Groves in one arm.
Yeah, that's his best win, isn't it? Basically.
Eh?
I know. I'll tell you what fight Beterbiev won world title in. Hang on a minute. Not that.
Because he won a vacant belt, right? It might have been his 5th fight or 6th.
Yeah.
Or maybe a bit more.
Yeah. IBF world title. North American Boxing Association, like heavy. That's not it, is it? NBA.
It'd be the fight after that.
Yeah. What it? Enrico Coelin or something. IBF World.
Eric Curley,
yeah, Bacon. Yeah. 2017. He's been a world champion 7 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And then look at what he's done.
11-0 when he's in for world title in his 12th fight, but he was an Olympian and a world gold one as amateur.
But here's the thing, Russ. He retired guys like, well, remember he retired Buatsi.
Tied a few of them, didn't he?
Battered Marcus Brown, and Marcus Brown was meant to be the next guy after Andre Ward.
Big thing, wasn't he? Were running through everybody, wasn't he? Brown.
Yeah, and then Joe Smith, who retired Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, Callum Smith was scared to fight. Joe Smith, they kept talking him up for months, didn't they? Callum Smith and Joe. It never happened, did it?
There you go. So Callum Smith hasn't got the pedigree to be in the same conversation as Beterbiev, and that's entirely his own fault. If he had the pedigree, I'd give him a chance. But the thing is, everyone talks about height and they talk about power. At world level, none of that stuff means anything. Your mindset is what matters. Are you a world level guy? Beterbiev has shown he's a world level guy. Yeah. If you had Anthony Yard versus Callum Smith, you could quite rightly call that a 50-50. And Beterbiev turned that into like an 80-20.
He's such an overwhelming favourite that they reckon less than 50 Brits are going over to watch the fight. Is that because Callum Smith doesn't do tickets or because it's such an hard fight for him to win?
Callum Smith has never won the love of the British fans. He hasn't. Because he's never put himself on the line. Like he came up in the Froch era, the Gale era, the Groves era. Never called any of them out, apart from when he had to fight Groves in the final.
Never called anybody out, really. He's had everything on his lap.
Yeah. I've never seen a more sheltered boxer in all my life.
Sheltered? Joe Gallagher wrapped him in cotton wool. No offence, Joe, but let's have it right. He wouldn't have beat George Groves if George Groves had one arm, if didn't have one arm, would he? I don't know. Then. And I think George Groves will be disappointed that he had to take that fight because he was pressured into that fight by Carlos Howland. That's the bottom line.
Mate, what? The money was good.
Well, if you're getting that kind of money, and Callum Smith's worth over 10 million, you know that, don't you?
After that, well, yeah.
Got 8 million, did he, for that actual tournament and for that actual fight? And how many? What did they have leading up to it? They had a few mil lead. I bet he's worth more. I bet he's worth more. I bet he's not far off Frochim, and he's not got the resume to match.
Hey, he might be getting looked after by,
Yeah, I can
the
imagine.
people we dare not mention.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I was sat a couple of days ago with some chaps. I don't normally meet up with the chaps Try to swerve them because you get dragged in. And, oh, you know, do you want to get involved in this? No, 53. But they were saying to me this. I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but certain people seem to be on the run. These big people who work in boxing, big heavy mobsters, and they never seem to get the collars felt. No criminal records. And I'm always weary. There's a lot of people. Let's say there's a few people in Doncaster who have had massive, massive runs doing things they shouldn't be doing. And they never seem to get the collars felt. And I'm always weary about people like that, Terry. Are you?
Yep. I've been like this since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
If you're out and you're obvious and you're blatant with stuff and you never get nicked, I don't get close to you. I don't tell you anything because I know you're working for them boys over there.
So Daniel Kinahan, are you putting people into FBI, Interpol, and any task agencies or whatever? What's going on? Because if not, have you got a lucky pebble like Evans? Because I need a lucky pebble. I need a good lucky pebble because you must have a really good one. Or I must have broke a lot of mirrors when I was a young kid.
No. Look, here's the thing. Let me speak generally because I want to name names and put people. You know, we're all here trying to live.
Listen, say what you want on here, Terry.
But you see, with these sorts of things, Russ, it's never the person you think it is when it comes to grasping and providing information. I imagine the person who will betray Kinahan is there, but no one's able to turn that person because there are consequences for that person, for their family. But secondly, a lot of those guys are well paid. Yeah. So why come off the gravy train if you don't need to? Yeah. And because remember, the police only really turn you, Russ, when they've either got you banged to rights on drugs, sexual assault, or
torture you.
No. They'll just get you on that, right? So let's say you get honey trapped by a 15-year-old girl who told you she was 19, right?
Yeah.
Old Bill will come in, have a word, and go, look, yeah, we heard you had something with this young woman. Turns out she's 15, mate. You're gonna have to come with us. And then they'll say, look, we can make this go away, but we need you to tell us a few things, and we'll make it go away. And then once you agree to that, and a lot of people do this, by the way, once you agree to that,
you got one over on you.
Whatever. They're like, listen, we need to know this now. You work for us now. Listen, there are people in South London I know who had that happen to them. Like I got told some names, and I was disappointed in those names because they're names that a lot of people look up to. Yeah. A lot of people cooperate with the police. One day, on God, someone's going to leak out that list of informants. And when you read that list of Metropolitan Police informants, you will never respect people that go to jail. You will never respect crime again. It will all just be a big con. And it always is. The guys at the top, nah, not for me, mate. I wouldn't want to be in that game because the people everyone looks up to are cooperating. I'm just saying that. And a lot of people I hear are stand-up guys. I've also heard they may be cooperating too.
Jeez. Well, it'll all come out in wash, but if they can catch Bin Laden, who killed 3,000 people in one day with New York Trade Center buildings going up and them other plane incidents, or if they can get Saddam, right, and Hitler, how come they can't get this guy? He's never even been in trouble as a businessman. What's going on?
But
is he innocent? Is he innocent? Because I keep seeing Sam Jones doing an interview saying he's innocent. So,
but what's he been charged with? Has anyone actually charged him with anything?
I've been charged with it, so why do I keep reading stuff in paper? Why ain't he suing these newspapers? If that were me with no criminal record, and I'd say, well, why are you printing stuff about me? Why don't you just come back and face it if he's innocent? Why?
Well, why should no? So my question back is, why should he? Because think about this, Russ. In his current situation, he's cool. Like the UAE don't have an extradition treaty, so they don't have to send him anywhere.
Yeah,
he's not doing anything untoward out there. So he's just, do you know what I mean? Like he's not violating their local customs and whatever. He's just laying low. So it's hard to pull someone out of that. So until someone says, we have the charges here. Here's what he has done. He needs to face justice. At the moment, it's a load of other stuff. And I don't want to be a defender for anyone, by the way, but I do believe in due process. When there's a case to answer, he should answer it. So whoever needs to build that case, build it.
Yeah, agree. Joe Cardina slamming Vasquez. I've got news for you, Joe Cordina. Nobody cares. You care about Cordina Vasquez.
Nope, don't care about Joe Cordina. Like I said, a lot of British boxers I don't care about because they've never given me a reason to care. I care more about Anthony Fowler right now than most British boxers.
Why?
I want to see his business grow.
Yeah, well, I do. But
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's nighttime, Terry. I don't go to bed at night thinking, I hope Anthony Fowler does great, lad.
No, but you know when you see someone, they've done the boxing thing, they've realized maybe this isn't for me, and he's just flipped into I'm going to try this CBD thing and see where it goes. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he's just got on with it.
Yeah, he's just had a go, hasn't he? And you got to give him respect there for that. And listen, I respect anybody who's self-employed like myself. Nobody gives you anything. You got to go out and get it yourself. It makes you get up in the morning. You don't go, you know what? My goldfish has died. I'm going to have a day off today. Pop, pop, bang. Oh, hang on a minute. What did they ring you in now? What's that one over there? Oh, outright. I can't get back into my house and I'm in my underpants and I've gone outside and I can't get in because it's a union lock on the door. So what landline are you ringing off now? My mum's. Why you got no clothes around there? No, I'm going to have to wait here now until my missus finishes work, so I can't come in. All right, you've just about heard everything when it's like that, haven't you? You know what I mean? Oh, it is what it is, isn't it? Oh, what's the other one? Oh, we've heard all that. I've got I don't want to come in, because my mental health might kick in. Yeah, you know that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Anybody can say to me, don't you? You know, mental
Yeah.
health. Say, oh yeah, collect your cards. Crawford Spence 2. People are saying they're getting hyped up for it. I'm not. Are you? At 154, I could though.
I agree. If the belts are going to get scattered anyway, just fight at 154. Yeah, why not, man? Like historically, those fights tend to do that, right? When rematches happen, they happen at a different weight class. You know, if you look at the Fabulous Four, whatever they were called, the Four Kings, they did that, fought at different weights. There's no shame in that. I don't know if I want to see it next. I'd quite like to see both guys fight someone else, then come back. Because we need to know, is Spence actually finished or is there still some juice left in that lemon?
There's some juice up in that lemon. Okay. I'm going to read some fights out now. And I want you to tell me what you think to these fights, Terry. Okay?
Yeah.
Right, Wilder Ruiz.
Not interested.
Fury Joshua. Interested, yes or no?
Oh. Yes.
Fury Parker.
No.
Fury Usyk twice.
No.
Do you think Fury Usyk does happen next month?
Yes. I don't think the Saudis mess around, so yeah.
Yeah, I get the impression that Fury's been bullied into it because normally he can say, I'm injured or because they're going to have a good Christmas. Remember all injuries he's pulled up over years, don't you? He hasn't messed them about, has he?
No.
Do you think that's why the father's not involved at the training camp out there? Well, I think they're trying to push spoke about that earlier, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, Ruiz, Wilder, we spoke about that. Fury Ruiz.
Nah, not at all.
Miller Makhmedov.
Yeah, why not? That's a fun fight. That's just a good laugh, man. We can watch and just see who gets bombed out.
Miller there in orange jumpsuit. Caballel Wilder. Be a slaughter, wouldn't it, that? Wilder slaughtered, I mean.
Make the fight. Do you know what, Russ? What I love about that card in Saudi Arabia is this. It kind of brought all the heavyweights back together where you can put them in all sorts of different fights now, and it doesn't seem impossible that the other guy could win. Like, if you go back a year, Fury and Usyk were light years ahead of everyone else, right?
Yeah.
And then you kind of had Joshua and Wilder there. Then you had that pack of Joyce, yada, yada, yada. Now, it's all kind of flattened down where I wouldn't mind seeing Joyce versus Hrgovic. I wouldn't mind seeing Hrgovic versus Parker. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot more action that can happen. It just means that we're not going to be calling these guys all-time greats anymore.
Parker Caballel.
Nah, I don't. Joseph Parker's a car crash. I don't want to watch that guy.
Joseph Parker just beat Wilder.
Yeah, but what did Joe Joyce do to Joseph Parker?
What did Joe Joyce do to Dubois? You think Joe's got...
Nah, I'm not. You know what? Nah, the way that Joe Joyce ended Joseph Parker, like that takes a bit of your soul. Like I just don't want to see Parker again. He's never been a guy that's tried to entertain. So thanks, but no thanks.
Okay. Dubois Wilder.
Just for the shits and giggles, yeah.
Dubois Zhang.
No.
That'd be a slaughter, wouldn't it?
Oh man, big bang. Oof, no.
Caballel Fury.
Didn't want to see it before, don't want to see it now.
Caballel Zhang.
No. Caballel.
Well, sorry.
Caballel fought a guy who had never been tested. I think when you put Caballel with someone a bit more seasoned, we'll find out that he is European level.
Yeah, he's a good, solid European level guy, Caballel, isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of those guys. It's a good test.
Usyk Zhang, gold medal against silver medal. What do you think?
I'd watch that. Oh no, I'd watch that.
I'd watch that. I'd like to see, because Usyk's not frightened of taking big men on, is he? He dealt with Joshua twice, not once, twice. Yeah.
But it'll be interesting, right? Because when you go southpaw v southpaw, and Zhang's a very, very good southpaw in terms of where he positions himself and where he moves to. So that will actually be more of a chess match than people think.
Yeah. I think that Zhang, right, is better than what people think. And I just get the impression that Zhang could be like a Luis Ortiz type Olympian guy, southpaw, experienced, and parked up. You think?
Yeah, get him in the mix. Listen, Saudi need to get them dirhams out for Zhang.
Need to get them what?
The dirhams.
What do you think is going to happen with Mick Hennessy now? He doesn't seem to be putting any shows on, does he, old Big Mick?
Well, doesn't he? You know, you're a smart man, Russ. You know what's happening.
Hey, Mick, you know Mick, since he did all his doing on Parker, Fury, and obviously we obviously were devastated after that. I mean, he went, you know, what that? Shades of Ali. And I felt for Mick then. And well, listen, at the end of the day, he come out and it all right. He got that money back because he sued Tyson, didn't he, and all that, and blah, blah, blah. They settled, didn't they? But I think Mick's a bit more weary after that. I think he rolled the dice on Huey and at home and everything all there, and it didn't happen, did it? They got. I thought he'd be.
I think the bat signal went out and said, I'd rather Mick Hennessy was on Sky. I'd rather Mick Hennessy's fighters were on Sky. Mm. And when the order went out, the order was executed. Mm. I always say to people, if you draw the diagram, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying.
Mm. I understand. Well, listen, Terry, we've had a good time. Is there anything you want to say? All right. Who's your fighter of the year for world boxing?
Probably Porky Russ.
Pop, I'm still here, kid, in my 7th year. Untouchable, and I've still got all my teeth.
Oh, you're... Yeah. My fighter of the year? It's got to be Crawford.
Yeah. You
Crawford, but special mention to Inoue, though. I know you.
Listen, I've got him as my fighter at you, Natasha Jonas for the female. So's Andy. You know,
Andy. Yeah. Jonas will always be my women's fighter of the year. I just think she's a great ambassador for the sport. I think she needs to be kept in the sport. Like if you're not going to treat Jane Couch right, at least treat Tasha Jonas right.
Yeah, listen, I just had a text off Jane Couch. I love Jane Couch, mate. I remember watching Jane Couch when I was a young man on Frank Skinner show.
Yeah.
And she did.
Or was it All Talk? Frank Skinner's All Talk.
Is he?
No, that was the show, wasn't it?
Oh, is that what it was called? But Brum, he's a West Brom fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you. She's done something with Sky. She's just done some work with Sky, so that's brilliant, isn't it? Because let's have it right. They weren't giving her anything, were they, before she got that Hall of Fame? So she's just done some work with Sky, and I'm glad for Jane because she's been dealt an awful hand and shan't be in good health. And when she goes out to that kind of Stota, me and Julian have got a little treat for her when she goes out there, so that she
bless.
represents.
You know what? Like she's class, and I just think,
yeah,
it's a real shame that it took her getting in the Hall of Fame for people at Sky to go, oh, maybe we should speak to Jane Couch. No, you should be speaking to Jane Couch more often. She should be getting tickets. When you did that all-female card, Jane Couch should have been getting tickets, and you should have been showing her love.
Every fight. Pundit work, the fucking lot, and they've not given her anything. If you want for Jane Couch, there'd be no Katie Taylor, Savannah, Natasha Jonas, all of them girls. Kate, Chantel Cameron, none of them four. We got that girl there. She's being shit on from a high height, Jane Couch in boxing. Go follow her on Twitter at Jane Couch. She's a lovely
MBE.
MBE.
Jane Couch, MBE.
5-time world champion, Hall of Famer, MBE. And yet there's no media work for her. But now people, they've been under that much pressure from moi, because I care about issues like that and issues like Gary Sykes and fighters being paid on time. That's what I care about. So I like to see fair play. I like it to be fair. It's not been fair for Jane Couch. It's a bit like all these camera jockeys. They get all this access because they're soft and they're frightened to ask real boxing questions. They want to have love-ins about crisps. Do you know what I mean? And Ford sunglasses. Instead they're asking boxing questions. Do you know what I mean? Well, I like Jane Couch, and I will forever have her in my heart. Jane, I love you. I do. I love Jane Couch. I think she's brilliant. She's not frightened of anybody, and she calls it as I see it. She's welcome at my home or here anytime. And I've never met her. Do you know that? Never met her. I've seen her at a show, but I've never actually been in her company to have some time with. But I will soon. But I like Jane Couch. She's lovely.
Yeah, she's class.
Lovely. Okay. Thanks
All
for coming on, Terry. You've been a pleasure.
Pop, bang.
Pop, pop, bang. See what? I've got to send this to Cameron now. I'm going to get Scott's promos put on it and some thumbnails done. And it'll be out. What day are we on today, Terry? Thursday?
Friday.
Thursday today. I'm going to put it out Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday late Saturday. It'll be out Saturday anyway. Is that all right with you, pal?
That's great. Yeah.
Love you to death. Have a great evening. What's left of it? I've got to shoot. Mum's 74th today, so I've got to pick.
Tell her I said happy birthday, mate.
I will. I'm going to go get some flowers now from Dalton Asda.
All right, mate.
Take care, brother.
Yeah,
cheers, Terry. Bye. Bye. That was Terry from London. Did you know he's a banker, Terry? Yeah, he's a banker. I went to pick him up one day in Leeds. You're at this seminar thing. We were on stage speaking in front of about 300 people. So he's not a cabbage, is he? Hey, he's not a cabbage. So women love him. Men want to be him, just like Kent, just like Aberdeen Andy, whose videos you will have seen yesterday, because I'm talking now as if it's Saturday. Go on, peace out. Pop, pop, bang. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment.